If you think this tax deal is a done deal, think again. Frustration at the president by House Democrats bubbled over today in the House Democratic caucus. Reportedly, New York Congressman Jerry Nadler said the president can't be trusted. And an unidentified lawmaker even said, F, you know the word, the president. To our blushing freedom fighters, Fox Business contributor and my good buddy Charles Payne, senior editor for Reason Magazine, Jacob Sullum, and Occidental College professor Carolyn Heldman. Charles, this is incredible stuff. Should we worry about this animosity about extending tax cuts for everyone and what this could mean?
Absolutely, Judge. First and foremost, somebody owes Joe Wilson a phone call and an apology.
This is the congressman from South Carolina who was disciplined for saying he lies,
right,
or you lie, something to that effect about the president. He didn't use any profanity.
Judge, this is pure hatred. I mean, this is bubbled up. Earlier, Dick Durbin said he loathes this thing. This is pure hatred. It's not about economics.
Jacob, why is there this hatred and animosity? Does the left of the Democratic Party harbor some sort of class hatred for rich and successful people, and they think the president is now going over onto the dark side?
It does seem that way. I mean, I think the general assumption is that everyone's money belongs to the government, and it lets you keep as much as it decides to let you keep, and you should be grateful for it. And to the extent that rich people are allowed to keep their own money, it's as if you're taking it away from somebody else.
Carolyn, has the president suddenly recognized basic truisms of Economics 101, or does he know how to read election returns? Because the White House stated earlier today, tax cuts will help create jobs. That's not what he said as a senator, and it's not what he said as a candidate.
Right, and it's really unclear how giving the wealthy a tax break will create jobs. Giving middle class and poor people will create jobs because it will increase disposable income and increase demand, which creates jobs. But, you know, the president, and I don't condone the disrespect, but
right,
I'm certainly with the 54 members who are highly critical of him extending this.
All right, we'll talk about
been backed into a corner.
We'll talk about those 54 members in a moment, but I must take issue with you when you say it's unclear how giving people a tax cut in the upper brackets. Go ahead.
Yes,
I don't want to put words in the upper brackets will create jobs.
Yeah.
Those are the people who invest money. Those are the entrepreneurs. Those are the people who hire other people. You know that. That's Economics 101.
Sure, Judge, but right now they're stockpiling almost $3 trillion, so having money is not an issue with hiring. Trickle-down economics does not work. Wealthy people actually tend to save their money rather than spend it during an economic downturn.
And banks have it to lend.
Not only that, though, Judge, we saw the November ADP numbers. Small businesses created over 50,000 jobs. Large businesses laid off 10,000 people. And if they're hoarding money, you would be, too, if someone was the one coming after you like this.
I think this gets back to the basic principle of which creates more wealth. Private enterprise, unregulated, risk, extending risk and paying for the risk or accepting reward, or central planning in Washington, D.C. Isn't that a no-brainer, Jacob?
Well, you know, to me it is, but I think anything that lets people keep more of their money is a good thing. They're apt to make better use of it than the government will. A businessman investing his money has to meet the test of the market, whereas the government does not have its own money at stake. And I think, by the way, in terms of the effect that Obama sees in job creation, he is emphasizing a demand-side effect where the extra $50 or so a week that the typical middle-class family will get is going to goose demand and have people out there spending money, and that's going to create jobs. I think it'll have some effect. I don't think very much, though, if I think about how that extra money would be used. I think it would be used mainly, for our family at least, to pay down our debts and to save a little bit more rather than go out on a spending spree.
Carolyn, why is the left so angry at the president that one of them would use the F word about the president of the United States in front of all other members of the Democratic House caucus?
Well, I think it has to do with the fact that we see, and I'm one of these people, I see this as a moral issue, and I don't see it as government pitted against private enterprise. I see it as government in the pocket of private enterprise that has allowed, since 1980, has allowed the top 1% to double their wealth, while the middle class and poor people have stayed stagnant. That is class warfare at its finest.
But you say moral issue. Did the president cave to political reality? Is that what you're saying? That's what you're criticizing him for?
Well, Republicans are holding him hostage in order to get money to unemployed, desperate individuals. They're holding him hostage for tax breaks for themselves and their wealthy friends.
Carolyn, I got to stop you. The hostage thing is ridiculous. He's the most powerful man on the planet. He can sign or veto whatever legislation he wants. You can't dispute that.
No, absolutely, Judge. However, they have to get this done before the end of the year, before the end of the session. If they don't, then the IRS is in terrible bureaucratic trouble. No one wants that. So he knows that he's under a time crunch, and he's desperate.
All right.
And Democrats recognize this, too.
Heldman, Payne, Sullum stay with us. They voted for a restrained fiscal diet, but now they're ordering a full helpful of pork. Were they not full of hot air when they signed on to the Tea Party movement? I'm talking about the Republicans. Our freedom fighters are coming back.